Hey guys, in the fourth video for this week, we're going to be thinking about ideology in terms of another video game example. This time around, it's Fortnite.
It's the online game that has fans in a frenzy.
More than just a video game, Fortnite was one of the biggest pop culture phenomena of the 2010s, and so I'm hoping that many of you will have at least a passing sense of it. Even if, like me, that sense is, what on earth is that? Why are the kids doing that weird dance? And what's up with all the llamas? To be precise, because I'm sure someone out there will be concerned about such things, I'm talking about Fortnite Battle Royale, rather than the game's other two modes. I should also flag, if it's not clear enough already, that unlike Breath of the Wild, I'm not that personally familiar with Fortnite. I played it a few times, but it was quickly apparent to me that I'm not the target audience. If those of you who are more familiar with the game have some thoughts, questions, or objections, please get stuck into me in the forums. So, how can we understand Fortnite in terms of ideology? The most obvious point is that Fortnite is a form of gaming subgenre called Battle Royale that has surged in popularity in the last decade or so, as faster internet speeds have enabled the development of massive but stable online action games featuring dozens of players. In a Battle Royale, the goal is to eliminate, i.e. virtually kill, all other players through any means available. In the case of Fortnite, you're playing against 100 other players, and the means are a range of melee weapons, traps, and guns. An ideological read of a Battle Royale game is pretty straightforward in the first instance. Such games are premised on intense competition with human opponents, where any alliances are fleeting in the quest for individual success. Everybody you encounter is an opponent who will have to be defeated if you are to win. I wouldn't be the first to note that this seems like a dark reflection of our current winner-takes-all society, where scarcity is increasingly assumed as a basic feature of the job market, and people feel compelled to view others as competitors rather than collaborators. In this way, we might say that Fortnite reflects and reinforces one of the basic assumptions of capitalist ideology: all against all. In a slightly more sophisticated interpretation, we might build on this by saying that the appeal of Fortnite is the way it takes that competitive struggle and turns it into a pleasurable and manageable experience. In one's job or education or multiple other forms of social and economic interaction, it's not usually very clear if you're winning or even doing well. The connections between hard work, skill, and success can be confusing or non-existent. There are no clear metrics, and it's very rare that anyone can actually win. In Fortnite, in contrast, all the players know how this works, and you're provided a constant clear sense of how you're doing in terms of the 100 players. What this means is that the path to success seems clear and relatively fair. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or who you know. All you have to do is get good. And if you don't succeed, the good news is that you can join another game pretty much straight away and try again. This also means that the anxiety that could arise from the idea of being constantly under attack is potentially mitigated by the relatively low stakes, not to mention the goofy, light-hearted, cartoonish aesthetic of the game. In this read, Fortnite appeals because it enables players to confront a real concern that arises out of current social conditions. It provides an imaginary solution to a real-world problem, which is a deeply ideological maneuver. However, ideology is about more than just what we believe. It's also about how we behave. And to illustrate this, we might consider Fortnite's use of micropayments, whereby players can exchange real-world currency for in-game resources that don't increase their ability to win, but allow them to customize their avatars through which they appear in the game. Fortnite's use of microtransactions is pretty standard for the modern video game industry, though few are as successful as Fortnite. Despite being free to play, Fortnite was widely reported to be the most profitable game in the world in the years after its launch, bringing in about $2 billion a year. To be clear, unlike some other games, in Fortnite, players don't pay to win, but rather to express themselves through the purchase of particular skins, which is to say virtual costumes, or emotes, like dance moves. Fortnite presents a world, or maybe more correctly, a functioning society, where constantly minor consumption is required for players to express themselves. It's a world where you have to pay to be able to do a new dance. In ideological terms, Fortnite is less of a violence simulator and more of a consumption training program, where constant, low-stakes purchase becomes a core part of social interaction. Again, like an aggressive playstyle in Breath of the Wild, the consumption of such virtual decorations are by no means compulsory, but that is what makes them all the more ideologically powerful, because we come to do them. We choose to be a part of this way of being and acting by our own choices.